Welcome back. So, Trap 7 is about taking people and things for granted. So, it's super important to take the time to appreciate the people and the things in your life. There's so many ways that we can do this, and they're so simple, yet we often forget because of the busyness of life and everything else that we've got to get done. So, the point of focusing on what we like, what we enjoy, what we're grateful for is because whatever we focus on, we attract more of. So if we're constantly focusing on the fact that your teenager never takes the bin out and you're constantly nagging them to do it, then guess what? It's never going to change. And even if they do take the bin out, no one's winning because the whole household is angry and frustrated and no one's getting along. It's just not worth it. So how do you get your teenager to take the bin out then? You need to look at it differently. So first start with appreciation. Forget the bin for a moment. Just start appreciating all of the effort, all the energy and all the support that they are providing. So granted, you may need to look closely at first. Show appreciation for any little thing that they do. Even though we may not be really feeling it at first, do it anyway. It'll be worth it in the long run. It really gives them a buzz to feel appreciated. They like it, then they want more of it. So the more we appreciate everything that they do, the more they start to do. I know, I hear you. Why should you show them this appreciation when they just should be doing it? I get it. They should. They live there too. They should chip in. However, is what you're doing working? And if it's not, then this is something different to try. It's much more productive and more pleasant for everyone, not to mention way less effort to appreciate all the things they do than nag them because of the things that they haven't done. And it creates more harmony in the household and shit gets done. So it's a win-win. Appreciation doesn't come naturally to everyone. It is a skill that you can build on though. So here are a few tips to get you started. And after a while, it'll just become easier and more natural. So grab a pen and paper. I want you to focus on a particular topic and we're going to practice some appreciation. So start with something easy, something that you do like, that you do love, or that you do enjoy. And write the heading at the top of the page. So let's say that your topic's gardening. So you write gardening at the top of the page. And in the first line, write, I love gardening because da, 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 da. So for example, I love gardening because it's relaxing, it's creative. On the next line, again, write, I love gardening because, and because, and because, until you fill up the whole page. And if you don't want to use the word love, if that's not comfortable for you, then you might choose I appreciate, or I'm grateful for, or I enjoy. The words are up to you, but it's about getting yourself into that feeling of being in appreciation, that feeling of enjoyment and love around that particular topic. And as you start, it'll just get easier and easier and easier, and things will just start to flow. And all of a sudden, you're feeling so good about gardening. It's unbelievable, or whatever your topic was. If you could do this exercise on a different topic or person every day, you will be surprised at how magical your world becomes and how much beauty you create. You'll start seeing the beauty in everything. It's amazing. Once you've practiced this on the easier topics, you then might be ready to tackle some more challenging topics. For example, maybe you've got something going on at work and Bill's causing you grief. So you can sit down and start writing, looking for things that you do like about work. And you may need to start quite general, quite broad. For example, I like that I get paid when I go to work. I like that my salary helps me pay the bills. Jan in accounting's often really friendly. I like it when Sally brings in scones for morning tea. You'll notice that these have nothing to do with the actual situation with Bill, and that's what's causing the grief, but it's about starting where you're at and starting with what is actually feeling true and congruent with you, and then we work up to the rest. So as you continue, you'll eventually be able to get closer to the scenario that's bothering you, and you might say something like, you know, I can see that Bill does try to be respectful. Bill does bring lots of experience to the team. Bill did help me out that time with that cranky customer last week. The more little things that you can appreciate, the more you'll start to notice, and then the easier it gets. So before you know it, you'll be able to express your appreciation to Bill for something. Now, it doesn't feel like you can at the moment, but trust me. And the whole dynamic of the relationship will just start to change. You'll also notice that going to work becomes so much easier and more enjoyable. So I'd suggest that you do this activity with all the significant people in your life over time, not right now, not today. This is going to be a gradual thing. This is going to be something that you build up to. So it may be tough at first, especially if you're currently feeling really resentful. And again, just like the work situation with Bill, you know, start small. Appreciate that, you know, your partner has done the dishes after he made himself lunch. I appreciate that he picks up the kids from soccer training. I appreciate how hard he works. I appreciate that he brings in a good salary. I appreciate everything that he's done to provide for the family. I appreciate him driving my mum home. You know, keep going until the page is full. So every person or every topic that you put at that top of that page, fill a whole page. And even if you did one page every day or every second day, it's going to start to really make a difference. Because by the time you fill a whole page, your whole energy has shifted, and you'll notice that you're feeling different about that person or that situation. The other way that you can practice appreciation is to just play as you move through your day. So let's pretend that you're driving to work. So in the past, you may have noticed how much traffic was on the road and the idiot drivers cutting you off. Instead of those thoughts, start actively looking at what you can find to appreciate. So there might be things like, I appreciate that I have a comfortable car to drive. I appreciate that I have a car that I can get myself to work. I appreciate that this car has really good fuel economy. I appreciate that this car gives me independence. I appreciate all the places that this car has taken me to. I appreciate that I'm out of the rain. I appreciate the good roads we have here. I appreciate this time I have to just be me and to appreciate. Do you think that maybe you'll turn up to work feeling more relaxed, happier, more energized? Give it a go and see. There are things in every situation that you can appreciate. You just need to make the choice to see them and to appreciate them. It's as simple as that. Remember, even if others are doing something that is their responsibility, it can be an opportunity to express your appreciation and thanks. I don't know, would you like it for doing something that's your responsibility? You know, if it's your job to always cook dinner, do you appreciate it when somebody says thank you and tells you that they enjoyed the meal, even though it was your job? Make a big deal about it, because this will make them feel so good, and they'll look for more ways to help you, because receiving appreciation is like getting a reward. People love reward and recognition. Play with it, have fun with it. You'll be astonished at what people start to do for you, and you may even notice more appreciation coming back your way as well. That'd be nice. I remember, it was a while ago now, I'd come home and my partner had done the dishes, and I'd been driving home thinking, oh, that's right, you know, I've got dishes on the sink. I'm going to need to do the dishes before I can start cooking dinner. Oh, I've had such a long day. That sucks. And when I walked in and saw that the dishes were done, it was just like, oh my God, that's so good. Like, that's one less thing I have to do. And so I made a big deal out of it. You know, I went and I let my partner know that was so good. You know, I was dreading having to do it when I got home, and I got home and it was done. And oh, it just felt so amazing. And I did go a little bit over the top. But what happened was, then regularly I was coming home and the dishes were done. And it was like, this is awesome. And it was all because he'd done it once out of the blue, and I made a big deal out of it. So that made him feel really good. So then he started doing it on a regular basis. And as long as I kept appreciating it and recognizing him for it, he kept doing it. So have some fun. You never know what you might get.